Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksuram Nilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahaganaragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschachira Satarine Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jigapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakopa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is an invocation. The invocation means that it brings all auspiciousness. And when there is an assembly of devotees who are discussing Krishna Katha, or the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, there is automatically all auspiciousness, because Krishna and the recitation of his pastimes are not different. So when his words are being repeated and when his pastimes are being described, then Krishna himself is present in all of his greatness and all of his glory. Do we want to do Bhagavad Gita? We'll open it up, and whatever verse it opens up to. Oh, chapter 12. The title of this chapter is Devotional Service. So, exactly what we need to hear. Wow. So I'll just read the Sanskrit. Is that okay? Okay. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vitamaha. The translation is, Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect, those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Amazing. So I'll read the purport. Krishna has now explained about the personal, the impersonal, and the universal, and has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. Generally, the transcendentalists can be divided into two classes. One is the impersonalist, and the other is the personalist. The personalist devotee engages himself with all energy in the service of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalist engages himself not directly in the service of Krishna, but in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. We find in this chapter that of the different processes for realization of the Absolute Truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the highest. If one at all desires to have the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must take to devotional service. Those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personalists. Those who engage themselves in meditation on the impersonal Brahman are called impersonalists. Arjuna is here questioning which position is better. There are different ways to realize the Absolute Truth, but Krishna indicates in this chapter that Bhakti Yoga, or devotional service to him is highest of all. It is the most direct, and it is the easiest means for association with the Godhead. So I'll just make some comments on this part of the purport. This is absolutely essential for devotees to understand the difference between the personalist and the impersonalist. The personalist is a devotee who is seeking to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, to glorify Krishna, and he devotes his entire energy, all of his actions, all of his words, for that purpose. The impersonalist, on the other hand, is not interested in any particular form, particularly the form of Krishna, has no interest, because any form of the Godhead is simply a manifestation of the impersonal Brahman, which is supreme. That's what the impersonalist is thinking. So they're thinking that in the end, God has no form. God has no personality. He has no name. He doesn't speak. He doesn't see. He doesn't act. He doesn't live anywhere. He's not a person. This is so insulting. Imagine saying that to someone. You have no name. I'm not interested in knowing your name. You have no intelligence. You have no mind. You don't even have a mind for thinking, feeling, and willing. This is so insulting. And this is how the impersonalists are dealing with Krishna. It's true, though, that there is an impersonal feature. Ete chamsa kala pumsam Krishna stu bhagavan swayam. This personal feature of Krishna is the source of everything, material and spiritual. And then there is the other aspects, the impersonal feature, but there's also the super soul feature. Vedanti tat tatvidas tattam yajganamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate. But in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, that Vasudeva, which is a name of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, that he is everything. Krishna is everything. And those who wish to approach him cannot really do so by meditating on the impersonal feature of God. You can't even get a glimpse. If you meditate like that for hundreds and thousands and millions of years, you will never even get a glimpse of the effulgence of the toenails of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's so way beyond your scope if you are doing this impersonal meditation. Trying to attain some kind of peace of mind, well, you can do a lot better than that. Better than peace of mind. How about complete fulfillment and satisfaction of the soul? Isn't that better than just some temporary peace of mind? I think so. Ahoy tuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Atma means the self. Yayatma suprasidati. The great fulfillment and satisfaction of all of our desires as spirit soul is achieved by ahoituki apratiyata, unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service, which is the title of this chapter, devotional service. So we're not interested in any other kind of service because people are serving their relatives, their family members, they're serving their parents, they're serving their children, they're serving their country. They're serving so many causes, the cause of nationalism, the cause of philanthropy, and these forms of service are not satisfying the spirit soul. The spirit soul has nothing to do with these different isms. The spirit soul has only to do with connecting with Krishna. That's it. That's it. That is our purpose. That is why we are created. That's why we are existing in the material world. because at some point we turned away from serving Krishna. We turned away from devotional service. And we were thinking, because we are so tiny and so small and so oblivious, that we turned away from the worship of Krishna, or the friendship of Krishna, or Krishna's dealings with us in any other rasa, whatever it was. We turned away. As soon as if you're standing under a light, as soon as you take a step back, you cast a shadow. Did you know? Did you ever notice that? So similarly, all you have to do is forget your actual relationship with Krishna as his servant, and you have taken a step away, and now you're in the shadow. That is material life. That is why we come to the material world. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Somehow or other, we have come to the material world. Somehow or other. Now you can go on and argue forever, endlessly, with the impersonalists who are saying that you're still as good as Brahman. You're still as good as God. But they can't explain how it is that you forgot that you're God. And they're thinking that merging into the existence of God is the ultimate destination. Just like if you take a cup of water and you pour it into the ocean, it simply merges with the ocean. We're not interested in merging. We have desire. That is the symptom of life. If you have life, you have desire. So the original desire of the spirit soul is to engage in loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is this clear? Yeah. This is really Krishna Consciousness 101, right? But that's okay. It's nice to be reminded of what our roots are. So the question then becomes, if this is not our original abode, if this is not our natural state, it's like Prabhupada was pointing to some ice, and he said, "What is this?" And the devotee said, "It's ice, of course." He said, "But what is it? What is its natural state?" "Oh, it's water. In the natural state, it's water. But subject to extreme cold, it is now ice." So similarly, we're in an unnatural state. We are bound by the modes of material nature. In our natural state, we are bound by Krishna's love. That's all. We simply want to have some loving exchange with the personality of Godhead. So this is what devotional service does. It reinstates you in your original position, your constitutional position in the service of Krishna. In each age, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, there is a recommended process of self-realization. This is called the science of self-realization. Of all the sciences, Krishna is the science of self-realization. That represents him. That is what connects you with him. And Prabhupada wrote that when you realize God, you realize yourself. So God realization and self-realization go hand in hand. Just like when you can see the sun, that means you can also see yourself. So in the Kali Yuga, the present age, which began just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode 5,000 years ago, there is a recommended process of self-realization that is simple and sublime. Because in the Kali Yuga, manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagya hupadruta, we're dumb. We're all dumbed down. We're stupid. We are not strong in body and mind, and our duration of life is greatly reduced. In a previous age, take Satya Yuga for example, the duration of life was as long as 100,000 years. And the process of self-realization was by meditation. But still, that is not meditation on the impersonal Brahman, but meditation on the form of Krishna, because that form of Krishna takes its place in the heart of the devotee. So Krishna's right there. So you can meditate upon him in his threefold bending form. You can meditate upon his pastimes. His pastimes are never ending. They are all eternal, and they are taking place within this world in some universe at all times. So this is the actual position in the Kali Yuga, that we can't do that meditation. We don't have the opulence at our disposal to do the kind of sacrifices that were done in a previous age. And even the temple worship is not as ornate as in a previous age. What is effective in this age, especially in this age, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And there are also so many Vaishnava songs you have already sung tonight. And these are expansions, you could say, of the chanting of the Mahamantra. The Mahamantra has brought you to this point where you are chanting songs that were composed and sung by the great acharyas in our line. So this is the Krishna Consciousness movement. And the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, introduced by the most magnanimous of all of Krishna's incarnations. What was his name? Who introduced the chanting of Hare Krishna, the Sankirtana movement, 500 years ago? Lord Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That is the reason why he came into this world. And you must have heard about that last week. I think it was Gaurpurnima, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure anymore. Time, it just flies by when you're in Krishna consciousness. But there's one festival, then the next festival, and then there's Rath Yatra, and then there's Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, and then there's Govardhan Puja, and it's a year full of festivities. That is Krishna consciousness. We're always celebrating. We have good reason to celebrate because we have understood we are not part and parcel of this material world. Prabhupada used to say, this material world is no place for gentlemen. What to speak of for ladies. It's no place for a gentleman. He said, you can perfect your chanting of Hare Krishna in one lifetime. So finish up your business and make your exit. Like in theater, they say exit stage left or exit stage right. Make your exit. Don't come back birth after birth. This is called the wheel of samsara, birth and death, and filled with disease and old age. All of the infirmities of old age, they are waiting right around the corner. But at least in this lifetime, we can solve the problem of repeated birth and death. And that is the benefit of the Sankirtana movement. Even if you just look favorably, like we go down the street, we're chanting, and people say, hey, how you doing? And thumbs up, and oh yes, I love you chanting, and everything. They're getting the benefit. Just like we're getting the benefit, they're getting the benefit. Just by being favorably disposed to the activities of Sankirtana. And at some point, maybe they'll receive a book. And Prabhupada said, just reading one line of any of my books will turn your life around. Just one line. He said, every word is filled with volumes of meaning. This is so deep. Just like when you go to the beach here and you start walking into the Atlantic Ocean. It's very broad and very deep. And the further you walk into the ocean, the deeper the water gets. So it's like that. It's like that. Studying Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Chaitanya Charitamrita has given us so many books. And even by studying one book and taking one word, there is volumes of meaning. In other words, it doesn't get deeper than that. There is nothing that has ever been written that is deeper than the books Prabhupada gave. This was great. Even the President of India, when he saw the original Bhagavatams, he said, this is a tremendous gift for the salvation of mankind. He was seeing that this is meant to save the world, Krishna Consciousness movement. I think I might have mentioned to you that I received a letter from Srila Prabhupada, and I think it was in 1972, and he said that Krishna Consciousness is meant to become the world religion, and that can happen even in the short period of 10 years, in 10 years. And he said, actually, if we were all very sincere, just like the Battle of Kurukshetra took 18 days, he said, we can do that in 18 days. If everybody's really working hard, selflessly, ahaituki apratihata, unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service, there's no telling, because this has all been prophesized. It's already there. It's already predicted that this will all take place. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in every town and village my name will be known. So there are a lot of places we have to go and spread this chanting of Hare Krishna. And I've had the privilege to have gone to many cities, actually major cities, and to be the first devotee to carry the movement to that city and to that country and establish the ISKCON as the conveyance, the means by which the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be introduced into that country. So that was Prabhupada's arrangement. And we should try to understand what it was that Prabhupada wanted to accomplish, and then see how we can take part and have the greatest impact. Everybody can have great impact. Everyone who's sitting here can have great impact on the lives of others just by understanding what your role is in the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya. It was meant to engulf the entire world, just like it was said that in the subcontinent of India, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Or if I'm going too slow, let me know. The subcontinent of India was never inundated by a tidal wave until the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, at which time it was inundated by the tidal wave of love of God when he introduced the Sankirtana movement. And this is expected to spread to every town and village. And it's amazing how Srila Prabhupada was so effective in doing that. He was 70 years old when he arrived here in New York, September 19th, 1965. And this was his choice, to come to this place. He said, I had godbrothers who went to London, but I came to New York City. Very special place, that we were like the chosen city by Krishna's pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. He came to this city in order to lift us up. He came here to give us salvation, freedom from the miseries of material existence. And he was successful. And then from New York, and it's amazing how even though he was 70 years old, which is a very late in life to start a movement that's supposed to deliver the whole world from the nescience and darkness of ignorance. But still, Krishna protected Prabhupada, provided everything that he needed, just like he says in the Gita, I will preserve what you have and carry to you what you lack. And Prabhupada, as a fully surrendered soul, and that's what we should become too. But a lot of devotees are not preaching that. They're just saying, oh, it's okay, you can do as you please. If you want to throw in a little impersonal meditation, you can do that, or some New Age stuff. You don't have to visit the temple, you don't have to worship the deities, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. Just remember Krishna within your heart. Come on, man. You got to have association with devotees to do any of that. If you're not associating with devotees and thinking you can become Krishna conscious, Prabhupada said this is an hallucination. So there's no way that's going to work. It's not going to work. There's a method that's prescribed, and it's to congregationally chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, to worship the deities in the temple and get rid of that impersonal concept. That's why Krishna agrees to appear in the deity form, because otherwise we just couldn't force that impersonalism, that tendency, out of our minds. The mind has to be cleared. The heart has to be cleansed. Cheto darpana marjanam, of all the dirty things. Impersonalism is one of those things that has to be cleansed out. Like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would clean the Gundicha temple. First he would have all the devotees clean, and they would gather up all the dust and particles and pebbles and dirt and everything they could find. And they were not talking to each other. They were just chanting Hare Krishna while they're cleaning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. They're cleaning up and then throwing buckets and buckets of water. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he said, this place is not clean at all. And then he cleaned up the temple on his own and gathered up more refuse than all the 100 devotees working together. So there's always work to be done in terms of purifying, cleansing all of these unwanted things. They're called inebrieties. It's just like if you get a particle of dust under your eyelid. That's so annoying, right? It's very annoying, and you're trying to get it out there, and you got a Q-tip and a piece of cotton and everything, and then you try to get help. You may even go to the ER, the emergency room. But being in Krishna consciousness, we want the heart to be purified so that it will be inviting to Krishna. Please, you come and take your place in my heart so I can meditate on your original form, the Satchidananda Vigraha, the original blissful eternal form of the Lord. So at this point I wanted to mention that these verses, because some people will say, especially impersonalists, will say there is no abode of God. He doesn't live anywhere. He lives everywhere. But he has no particular place, no abode. I mean, everyone here has a place, even if it's a cardboard box on the sidewalk. I mean, everybody wants to have a place that they call home. And our home is, who knows the answer? Our home is back home, back to Godhead, right? That is the home of the devotees. So the impersonalists, they cannot go there. If you want to go there, just like the 4 Kumars, they had some impersonal tendency. Your 4 little boys never grew up. And they went to Vaikuntha, and they wanted to see Lord Vishnu. But there were 2 gatekeepers, Jai and Vijay. And they were told that they could not get in. So don't think that just because we undergo some great austerity and impersonal meditation that we have the right. We don't have the right until Krishna gives you the right to enter his abode. Remember, the pure devotional service is the monopoly of pure devotees. So you have to have their blessings. You want to get in, you have to go through this chain of command, so to speak. And they will make the introduction. Radharani is whispering to Krishna, oh, there are these devotees down there in Brighton. They have this little preaching center, and people are coming, and their lives are being changed by the association of your devotees. Krishna, come on, you have to give your blessings to this group of devotees in Brighton. They're doing Sankirtana. They're going out in Harinam. They're going on a boardwalk in the wintertime. And it's very few people, but they still go out. every week. They're so dedicated. So if you can capture the attention of Srimati Radharani, and through her, Krishna's attention, that means that you have great power, that you're attracting Krishna. You have captivated the mind of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And He is going to give you all blessings, whatever you could possibly desire. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in the beginning I sent forth generations of men and demigods, and I gave them the performance of yajna, or sacrifice, by which they could become happy. People could become successful in life and happy transcendentally. And that is in reference to the Sankirtana movement in this age. The sacrifice. Yajna vai Vishnu. Sacrifice is meant to please Lord Vishnu. So we have this opportunity. There's nothing to pay. There is no tax to pay. You don't need a certificate from anybody, from any university, to take part in the Sankirtana movement. All you need is a little bit of inner strength, inner hope, inner faith that this is the right path. This is the path to perfection. Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantaratmana shradhavan bhajate yomam samayukta tamo mataha. This was just referred to in this purport, that of all the different forms of yoga, which would include the Vadanti Tat Tattvadas Tattam Yajganamadvayam, Brahmeti, meditation on the impersonalist, Paramatmeti, meditation on the supersoul, Bhagavaniti, meditation on the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of all these different forms of yoga and meditation, the topmost rung of the yoga ladder is Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantaratmana. The devotional service, the title of this chapter, is the highest form of meditation and the best form of yoga. Yoga means to link, to become, to join, and to join with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva Sarve Yogam means the goal of yoga is to connect with Krishna. So let us do that. Let us always seek out the association of devotees. Let us not be in the hallucination thinking that we don't need any association, we don't need a guru. I wrote to Prabhupada about this person who was saying that you don't need a guru. And then Prabhupada said, but he wants you to listen to him, so he wants you to accept him as guru. And telling you you don't need a guru, but you do need me. So there is no teacher of the science who is not in the disciplic succession that can take you back home, back to Godhead. So here we have on our altar, and I'm getting down to the very basic questions, that we have the disciplic succession, beginning from Krishna personally, imparting knowledge to Lord Brahma. This is the Brahma Sampradaya. And then from Lord Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyas, and then all the way down the line to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then all the way down to Srila Prabhupada. It's 32nd in the line, beginning from Krishna, and then all the devotees who are here. It's a very exalted position. We should never take it lightly that, we have this heritage. Nobody has a heritage more exalted than we. I know in my family, everybody says, oh, it's such a great family. Go back generations. There were rabbis and teachers and doctors and lawyers. There's no comparison. These are pure devotees. They are self-realized souls. And the Bhagavad Gita says that they have all gone back to the spiritual world by dint of their service to Krishna, their unswerving devotional service. I don't know if any of those rabbis in my family went back to Godhead, but I wish them well. And devotees are very kind towards the conditioned souls. And when devotees achieve the highest perfection, they still want to bestow mercy on the conditioned soul. So that's our purpose. And family members, that's fine. And they will also be delivered many, many generations before and after by the pure devotional service of their descendant. This is an amazing benediction. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was recognized by Rupa Goswami in Allahabad. And he said this one prayer, Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Trishe Namaha. That there are so many incarnations, and even when Krishna himself came, did not distribute pure love of God freely, giving it freely, without discriminating who is fit and who is unfit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most magnanimous, munificent of all of Krishna's incarnations. So we are in his line. He is our leader, the leader of the Sankirtana movement. And if we continue to push this movement forward, we'll always be associating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and seeing him in the temple.